And today I'm going to show you how I made a card with the Apple Harvest stamp set. And actually, there are some coordinating dies. I don't know if you have seen them, at least in the US, there are coordinating dies that are out on the clearance rack that match this stamp set. And you know me, I love dies, I love bundles. These are dies that Stampin' Up! Had offered last year. I don't remember when it was. I feel like it was last fall. They had a little promotion where they added some dies with some stamp sets that didn't normally have them. And they only sold them for a short time. And apparently they had some left over. And now they're on the clearance rack. And they're $14 for this whole set of dies, which was originally $35, I think. It's a huge set of dies. And like I said, go run over to the clearance rack and pick it up. So clearance rack items are only available while supplies last, so I always hesitate a little bit on using them. But these dies have been on the clearance rack for a little while, so I was assuming it was safe to use them, at least for today. They may be gone tomorrow, but who knows. But they were there this morning when I took a peek at them anyway. So hey, Karen and Jackie and Carol and Danette, thanks for hopping in. So this is the card we're going to be making. I just got to see, as a demonstrator, we get to see the upcoming, it's September to December 2023 mini catalog. And it is loaded full of fall and Christmas things. So it kind of got me into a little bit of a fall mood. So I decided to go with apples on my card today. So that's what I'm using. So hey, Pam and Barbara and Marilyn, thanks for joining. All right, so this is the Apple Harvest stamp set. This actually is in the current annual catalog from Stampin' Up, and it's got some nice sentiments in here. There's one that's the one we're going to use today. The greatest gift is a good friend. Hope you're feeling better. And then there's a little thank you sentiment in it, and then just some pretty little apple images. They're really easy to color. We're going to do a little bit of coloring today. So hey, Gina Marie and Kathy and Mary, thanks for joining. So again, the dies are called Apple Blossoms dies, and they are on the clearance rack in the US for $14 for this whole huge set of dies, and it coordinates with the current stamp set. So you know it's a good deal. So if you don't have the dies yet and you love the stamp set like I do, go get the dies, get them before they're gone. So, hey, Connie, thanks for joining. So the dies, actually, there's a little scalloped edge here that you can use for anything. There's a little branch, and then there are some leaves and some blossom dies, and then these are fit into the center of the blossoms. This one cuts out the larger sentiment that we're going to be using today. And then there are a couple of couple of dies that cut out the stamped images in here, the apples as well as the little flower image. So again, it's a great set of dies. If you don't have them yet, go get them. All right, let me set that aside. And then the other thing that I used on this card, I used on the background, one of the Countryside Corners dies, and these are from the current annual catalog as well. And I used the second from the largest just to cut out the background panel. So let me set that aside. Do a little bit of chatting about some Stampin' Up! Updates, and then we'll get moving on to stamping the cards. Hey, Mimi, thanks for joining. Glad you're here today. All right, online exclusives. There are some new ones. A couple of them are currently turned off for ordering because they were back ordered. Most of the stuff is back. I think the only thing that's unavailable right now is the little truck punch. But there's some great items out there. So run out anytime you're in the online store, go over and check out the online exclusives. You can find those by going to stampinup.com and then clicking on the little button on the left-hand side that says View All, and then go down and find the one that says Online Exclusives, and it'll put you into a page with all the awesome new good things. The online exclusives are online only. They're not in any catalog. They're not tied to any catalog, so they will kind of come and go as the stock is available. So if there are items out there that you want in the online exclusives, go get them before they go away. A couple reminders on sales tax holidays. There are a couple of them that are going on now, a couple that are upcoming. So Arkansas, Florida, Massachusetts, Mississippi, Missouri, New Jersey, New Mexico, Ohio, South Carolina, Tennessee, Texas, and West Virginia. If you live in any of those places, go take a peek at my blog, which is stampwithamyk.com. There are sales tax holidays that are coming up, and you can save sales tax on specific items from the Stampin' Up! Catalog in your area. So if you happen to live in one of those states that's having a sales tax holiday, go take a peek and yay, save some cash on sales tax because nobody likes to pay taxes. So, hey, Susan, thanks for joining. Glad you're here today. Last thing, bonus days. Well, I think, second to last thing. Bonus days are ending. The earning period is ending July 31st. So for every order of $50 or greater that you place through or with Stampin' Up! Between July 6th and the 31st, you get a $5 coupon back from Stampin' Up that you can redeem on any order during the month of August. So again, it can be anything. You can redeem as many of the coupons as you want to in any given order. No minimum on the order when you go to redeem it. So it's a pretty good deal. So go get your coupons today. And get your orders placed before the end of July, which is coming up in just a couple days. What are we, like 4 days from the end of July? I don't even know where the whole month went, but yes. So make sure you're getting those coupon codes, and then don't forget to redeem them on during the month of August. And then last thing, Stampin' Up! Has let us know that they're going to be doing a kits collection sale. Kits are going to be on sale for up to 30% off, so it'll be 10, 20, and 30% off depending on the kit. And it's going to run from August 1st through the 31st. And yes, you can redeem your $5 off coupons for these kits, so you can get some really good deals on the kits during the month of August. It does not include paper pumpkin kits, but it is any of the kits that are in the online store underneath the kits collection tab. So go take a peek at those. Again, details will be on my blog tomorrow, which is stampwithamyk.com. So you can go take a look at that and find out all the details. So, hey, Mary Ruth, from Disgustingly Hot Pencil, it's kind of icky hot here in New Jersey too. So it's hot everywhere, I think, but it's summertime. So, I guess we can't complain too much, because I know that I'll be complaining this winter because I'll be freezing. So, all right. So I've got a piece of pecan pie cardstock. This is a half sheet, so it's cut to 4 1/4 by 11 and scored at 5 1/2. This is my favorite kind of card base, but with this particular card that I'm doing today, you do need to have the top fold card, because we're going to be wrapping some linen thread around the middle of it, and that won't work very well if you have the side fold card. You'd have to wrap it that way around. So you can change it up a little. If you like the side fold cards, you can certainly wrap it a little differently than what I'm doing. But if you want to make this exact card, you got to do the top fold. So, hey, Lisa, thanks for joining from Las Vegas. All right. This is a piece of Glorious Gingham Designer Series paper. It's a 6x6 pack. And it's got some great colors in it. So it's got pecan pie, and this is lemon lime twist, and there's berry burst, and I know there are a couple of others. Pretty Peacock, I think. I don't know, a couple colors in there. Anyway, so lots of good ones, all gingham. So yay. I do love gingham. I do love wood grain. So, anytime we can do that, awesome. I'm going to use a little bit of multi-purpose liquid glue. The larger piece that I've got here is cut to about 3 3/4. I'm trying not to stick my fingers in it. So 3 3/4 by 4 1/4, and all the measurements will be out on my blog tomorrow, and I will link up directly to the blog post once it goes live in the morning around 8 o'clock Eastern time. So I'll link up to it, and it'll be in the description of this video, so you can go find the details out there. All right, I think I have that stuck on there straight. Then I have got a piece of Glorious Gingham. Again, this is just the lemon lime twist version of it, and we're going to use the smaller gingham down here on the bottom. So this one is cut to about 1 3/4 by about 4 1/4, and then I'm just going to adhere it down here on the bottom with, hopefully get it on here straight. Again, just using a little liquid glue, so it gives me a little extra wiggle room to make sure that everything is straight and where I want it before it's stuck down for good. All right, then I'm going to grab some linen thread, and we're just going to wrap it around the card base 3 times, and we'll tie a little bow. So 1, 2, 3 times around. And then I'm going to grab my paper snips and snip it, and then going to tie a little bow over here. I can move the linen thread around a little bit afterwards. I just wanted to get it wrapped around and get the bow in place, and then I'll kind of maneuver it around where I want it to be after that. When I tie linen thread bows, I usually tie a knot, so I've got the little half knot there, and then I'm going to do a full knot and pull it tight. And then that gives me the option to be able to move things around and then play around a little bit with the bow that I'm going to tie here over the top of it. And I see I have one very short piece and one very long piece, so I'm certain I'll be trimming this up just a little bit. So there we go. Just going to tie the bow on top of it, and there we go. Give that one a little tug. Try to get it fairly even, and then we're going to trim off, because we don't need the tails quite this long on the linen thread. Okay, I'm going to set this aside and grab a piece of cardstock. This is basic white that I have cut ahead of time with the second from the largest of the Countryside Corners dies. Those are little octagon dies. And then I've got Pool Party cardstock and one of the blending brushes. And I'm just going to ink up this cardstock with the blending brush here. And I thought about doing, having Pool Party just be the cardstock on the background, but I wanted something a little bit lighter. I didn't want, I don't know, the full pool Party color on it. I wanted it to look like a little bit like the sky, but didn't want it to be too dark. So that is why I went with the blending brush instead. And I'm sorry if you can hear the little paws stomping around here on the wood floors. The dog was laying down sleeping, of course, until I hit the start button and I started talking, and I think she's trying to figure out who I'm talking to, and so she's all nervous and pacing around the room. And so, all right. You hear Ginny? Yeah. Thankfully she's not barking, at least not yet. She's got a big bark too. So, all right. I'll tell her you said hi, Karen. And yeah, she knows your name. She knows who you are. She knows your car. So she doesn't like it when Karen comes to visit. Because if you don't know, Karen works part-time at a dog bakery, and so she always has good things that Ginny likes anytime she comes to see her. So, all right. Not that she doesn't, she likes seeing Karen no matter what, but when the fact that she brings a bag full of dog treats that are homemade is, extra bonus. So, all right. So there we go. We've got, hopefully you can see, I don't know, like I said, it's hard to see kind of since it's not real dark, but hopefully you can see there's a little color on the panel. Then I'm going to grab some Stampin' Dimensionals. I'm going to put a couple of them down towards the bottom and a couple up near the top. And then one sort of, I'll put a couple here sort of upper half of the middle, if that makes sense. I just want to make sure that my linen thread has room to slide around on underneath it without actually, having a weird bump in the cardstock. All right. Picking the backing off those, and I do chop my Stampin' Dimensionals in half. I like to do that because, I don't know, I like the size of them better. And if I can save a little on Stampin' Dimensionals, which I use like 50 million of them a week, if I could save a little on those, then I do. All right, trying to just make sure that it's fairly straight and hopefully somewhat even. Being able to look at it where it's lined up on the gingham does help me a little bit with getting it straight on here. So, and it also would make it even more obvious if it was really crooked. So, all right. So, I've got leaves and stuff flying everywhere. Trying to get a piece of cardstock picked up, and for whatever reason, my fingers don't want to work. There we go. Got a piece of basic white cardstock. And then I've got the larger apple image, and we are going to ink that with Tuxedo Black Memento ink. I'm sorry, I'm probably wiggling the screen like crazy. Trying not to do that. Close that up, and then we're just going to stamp it here on the basic white cardstock. All right, there we go. Looks like we got a pretty good image. And I'm going to close up my Tuxedo Black before I stick my fingers in it. And I'm going to grab some Stampin' Blends markers. I have got light Poppy Parade and dark Poppy Parade, and that is what I'm going to be using to color the apples in with. Again, the nature images are pretty forgiving, so that is one nice thing about them, is that, you can color them kind of however you want to, and you don't have to always stay inside the lines and worry so much about that. I try to, but sometimes it gets a little, I get a little crazy and color out of the lines, and it's all good. This set is also nice because it's got a little bit of shading on the apples already, so it kind of tells you where you should put the darker colors when you're adding them. So again, I've got light Poppy Parade that I'm coloring everything in with first, and then I'll come back in with the dark in just a second. All right, color around the edge here. And then I've got one more apple to color in over here. All right. And then I saw a comment from Gina Marie asking how I store my cardstock that's cut in half. I have some storage folders from Stampin' Storage that hold 8.5 by 11 paper, and I just put them in there. So Stampin' Storage has got some awesome storage things for all things stamping related. All right, then I've got my dark Poppy Parade, and I'm just going to kind of come in here. Again, you can sort of see based on the image, the stamped image from Stampin' Up, where the shading should be, at least where they think it should be. And I usually follow what they do because they're artists, and I just like to color and stamp. So, all right, added a little bit of the dark Poppy Parade, and then I'm just going to come back in and sort of scribble over it with the light to blend the colors together a little. All right, and try to get rid of any harsh lines that I've got in here. All right, I'm going to do the same thing over here, coloring in, adding a little bit of color over the whole thing, blending it a little bit, and then same thing on the bottom two down here. Oop, there we go. Got a little crazy coloring, but not too bad. All right. There we go. Then I'm going to grab Lemon Lime Twist, and I've got a light and dark of that as well. And we're just going to color in the leaves. And again, you know, it doesn't need to be perfect. One nice thing about the blends is that you can sort of blend in. Like here I have a little boo-boo where I went out of the lines with the red and accidentally colored onto a leaf. Nice thing about the blends is that I can color over it with the Lemon Lime Twist that I'm using to color in the leaves, and actually it blends then into the leaf, and you don't really even see the boo-boo anymore where you colored out of the lines. And I do color out of the lines kind of a lot. All right, gonna go back under here, add a little bit of color to these leaves. And, oh, now Jeannie's crying. I don't know what she's hearing out there. She's sure she's missing out on something. Probably, I said the words Karen and cookies, and now she's probably waiting for you to show up. So, all right, adding a little more. I knew this image was going to take me a minute to color, but that's all right. I'm sure y'all are just fascinated by my fantastic coloring skills. So, and again down here, I don't know if you noticed, I had colored out of the line as well, and just colored right over the top of it with the Lemon Lime Twist. And the little boo-boo out of the lines goes away. So there we go. All right, I'm going to stop at this point on the light for a second and come back in with the dark. So you'll bring her some soon, I know. I know you will, Karen. She can talk you into bringing her cookies, I tell you. So, all right. Just adding a little bit of the dark in here. Then I'll go back and finish coloring the rest of the leaves in just a second. But I was trying to get a little bit of the dark color in so that it would blend a little bit easier. If it's not completely dry, the colors do blend together a little nicer. So I usually try to do, when I'm coloring something that takes a little bit longer like that one did, or like the Lemon Lime Twist does on the leaves, I guess, not like that one did. She's like, you know what I'm talking about. But I try to go back and do the blending sort of in between times, do about half of it, and then come back and blend a little, and then finish the other half and finish the blending on that. So, all right. And I can't believe the kids actually go back to school. My younger daughter goes back to school in like, I don't know, 3 weeks or something, which I feel like summer just started. I just can't even believe we're already getting ready for back to school stuff, and fall will be here before we know it. I saw a friend of mine post out, she lives in Texas, and she was posting that the cottonwood trees were starting to lose their leaves a little bit around there, and that usually means that they're through the hottest part of the summer, and that fall is kind of right around the corner, which, gosh, I can't even believe it. I keep telling myself, I guess that means that I'm getting old every time I say, gosh, the summer flew by. So, but hopefully y'all got to go do something fun, do a few little outings here and there. So my older daughter and I are talking about heading over to go to Liberty Island. I haven't been there since I was in high school. So we live not very far, actually. We're only less than an hour away from New York City. And so we thought maybe before school started, we'd go run over there and check out Liberty Island, because she hasn't been there either. So we thought it'd be kind of fun. So we may go do that at some point here in the next couple weeks. But yeah, other than that, don't have a whole lot planned for the rest of the summer. So, all right, and I'm coming back in. I added a little bit of the dark lemon lime twist and coming back in with light and blending together here a little bit. So, oh, thanks, Rosie. And thank you for the little treat today, too. I understand Rosie had a hand in, I got a large box of chocolates today from some of my team members, and I believe that a few of the ladies here that are on watching the video may have had a hand in getting those to me. So we're doing a little, they were doing a little celebration. My $1 million stamp set actually comes out in the catalog that we got to see. So demonstrators got to see and peek at the little mini catalog. So my $1 million stamp set is in there. So I'm excited for you all to see it and hope that you love it as much as I do. So, and I understand there's a copy of the set on the way to me. So as soon as I'm allowed to share that, I definitely will be. So, all right, got pecan pie Stampin' blends that I'm using here to color the little branches. So I started with the light, and I'm coming back in and adding a little bit of dark. So it is a beautiful, I'm really happy with the way it turned out. So I hope you all love it, and hope you have fun using it. And I can't wait to see what everybody makes with it, that's for sure. So, all right. So that's it. Just did a little pecan pie, a little bit of poppy parade, and a little bit of lemon lime twist, and the apples are all colored. One thing that I did do on the larger apples that were kind of out from underneath the leaves is I did a little bit of kind of highlighting or removing of the ink where I thought it looked like there should be sun on the apples. So I did a little bit of ink removal here. This is the color lifter. So if you have Stampin' Blends, you'll definitely want to get the color lifter. It comes in handy when you want to do things like this, which is add a few highlights. It also is a huge help if you are messy at coloring like I am. You can take the color lifter and kind of push the color back inside the lines as well. So that is nice. Definitely a good tool to have. So, all right. All that chocolate will blend in well with it. Yes, yes, yes. So, all right. I'm going to grab one of the dies. It costs $1 million. Well, you don't think it's worth $1 million if I help to create it? Carol, now I'm all hurt. No, I'm just kidding. So, but yeah, I hope, like I said, I hope you all love it. It's a pretty stamp set, and it's part of a whole suite, which I was excited when I found out that was going to be part of it. So, am I going to autograph copies? Y'all are cracking me up. So, all right, I have got the Apple Blossom dies. Again, these are on the clearance rack right now, so they're not in the catalog or anything like that. So go take a peek on the clearance rack and search for the Apple Blossom dies. They were right up near the top when I went and looked. And they're $14 for this whole set of dies, if you missed that part earlier when I was yakking about it. So I'm going to run this through the die cutting machine. What's the matter, Jeannie? And so we've got our little die cut apples here. And set that aside and get rid of some of this mess. And we're just going to adhere these on to the card front with some mini glue dots. So that's why she got the chocolate, helped to get through the autographing. Yes, that's kind of a little bit of a running joke here on my team members were harassing me and saying they were going to send chocolate so that I would have the energy to get through autographing all of their stamp sets. And they were cracking me up. So, all right, so many glue dots. I just took 4 of them, stuck them on the back of the die cut, and then I'm going to take this, and we're just going to stick it here on the panel that I've already got set up with, that was inked and stuck on my card front. And then I'm going to do a stamping of the sentiment, and I do swear we're almost done. I feel like I've been talking forever. So, all right, Poppy Parade ink and the sentiment from the Apple Harvest stamp set. And I'm just going to stamp it here, again, just on a little strip of basic white cardstock that I've got. There we go. And it says, the greatest gift is a good friend, which is a nice little sentiment. I'll set that aside, and then I'm going to go back to my Apple Blossom dies, and there is a die that fits perfectly around this sentiment in this set, which I do love that. So I'm going to run this through the die cutting machine as well. There we go. So we've got our die cut sentiment. I'll put that away before I lose track of that. And then I just use Stampin' Seal to adhere this to my card front. So I'm going to do Stampin' Seal in the middle. And then if I feel like I need it, I may put dimensionals under the end. So depending on where this lands, I may tuck a dimensional under it. But if it's a little bit more in the center of the card where I'm not so worried about the ends of it flinging around, then I may just leave it. I think I'll probably just leave it. So there we go. Got that. And we're going to stick that down with Stampin' Seal. So maybe if I go live next Thursday. Yes, I might happen to go live next week, Thursday. If my stuff arrives, that's the big question, is sometimes UPS is mean and doesn't bring my stuff when they're supposed to be bringing it. So, all right. Yes, I actually am planning to pre-order. Demonstrators do get to pre-order from the upcoming catalog starting on the 2nd, which is Wednesday. And I do tend to accidentally push that overnight button on my pre-orders. And so, yeah, you'll probably see me posting a note saying, hey, I'm going to go live if everything arrives when it should on Thursday. So, all right, so what I did as I was yakking and talking about stamping and not, or ordering and not about what I was doing, I've got a sponge dauber, petal pink ink, and this is a die cut, obviously the little blooms it's the smaller size of the bloom from the Apple Blossom dies, and I've die cut a couple of those, and I just took a sponge dauber and just did like a little dab of petal pink ink in the center of each one, and then I've die cut the little blossom centers from petal pink cardstock. I'm just going to take a tiny little dot of liquid glue and stick the two together here in the middle. There we go. And hopefully not get glue all over everything. So can't wait to see all the new I can't wait to see all the new goodies either. I mean, the catalog is fantastic, but it's always like a million times better when you actually get the stuff in your hands. So yay. So, all right, so I'm using glue dots here, and I'm going to take them, and I just stuck it towards the middle of my flower. Got a little off-centered, but if you do like I did and make a mess, glue dots are really easy to roll up and stick in the spot where you want them to stay. So that is what I've done, just rolled up the little glue dot, put it in the spot where I want it to be. I did a couple of the flowers ahead of time so that you didn't have to sit and watch me do those over and over again, but it was the same process, just did a little dot with a sponge dauber of petal pink ink in the middle of it, and then adhered the petal pink flower center over the top of it. And I will tuck that one, maybe we'll go for the top of the panel there. So we've got two down below, and then we're going to stick one a little bit higher up. And there we go. I'll stick that one probably right up here. And then I cut these from Lemon Lime Twist ink. Lemon Lime Twist cardstock. Again, these are all part of the Apple Blossoms dies. So I'm just going to tuck that in here with my blossom and then stick a couple more on. And I realized I forgot the little gems. I thought I had them out here on the table, but clearly I do not. I remember to put the linen thread out, but not the gems. So hold on a second. Let me get the last little leaf stuck under here, and then I'm going to go grab my gems, and I'll be right back. Got some iridescent pearl basic jewels, and I'm just going to take the smallest ones, and we're just going to stick those right here, one of those on the center of each of the flowers, and the card front's going to be all done. There we go. All right, so that is it. The inside of the card, I promise, is much faster than the outside was. So got a piece of pecan pie from the Glorious Gingham Designer Series paper pack it's just a piece that I trimmed away when I was making the card front. I don't know, this one's about probably 5/8 of an inch, maybe a little thicker than that. It's just a little extra piece. And going to adhere that to the bottom of basic white cardstock. This is cut to 4 inches by 5 1/4, and I'm going to trim off the little extra piece here. And Oh, yep, Karen, sorry, I missed your, missed your note about being on the phone. And yes, I appreciate that. Thanks so much, Mary Kay, for letting her know the dies are on the clearance rack. So yep, got to go grab them while you still can, because it's a great set of dies. And the stamp set is still current, so can't get any better than that. Dies on sale for $14, and get the stamp set, and then you got a whole bundle, and it's cheap. So, all right, stuck that in with some Stampin' Seal to the inside of the card. I'm just going to give it a quick crease here on the top of the bone folder. And that's it. So again, like I said, if you don't have these dies, make sure you go get them. They're called Apple Blossoms dies. They're on the clearance rack for $14 for this huge die set. So go get them while you still can. They're pretty awesome. And I love that. I love stamp sets and dies together. So, you know, can't go wrong with that. So, all right. Thanks so much for joining me today. I appreciate you being here. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Enjoy your weekend, and I'll plan to be back around 2 o'clock Eastern Time next week, Tuesday, and then again around 2 o'clock Eastern Time next week, Friday.